from the book of Enoch. And it says, I appointed him a name from the four component parts of the east and the west, and I appointed him a special star, and I called his name Adam, and showed him two ways, the light and the darkness. And I told him, this is good and that's bad, that I should learn whether he has love toward me or hatred, that he be clear which in his race loves me. So God told him evil from good, but he said, I'm doing it and testing him to see whether or not he loves me or rather he hates me.
Yes, yes.
Because through the obedience, God is going to determine you love me or you're disobedient, you hate me.
Yes. Amen.
So the purpose of man being tested is to find out what's in his heart.
Right.
Why is God doing this? Because there was no test here.
Amen.
They were born in glory.
Yes.
They were born seeing the presence of God. They were born, it's like being born rich.
Right.
You have everything, therefore you've never been tested.
Right.
A rich man marries a poor woman, he doesn't know whether she loves him.
Right.
Something would have to happen to him, his money, his health, and then to see if she stays there, now he knows that she loves him.
Right.
And so it takes 56 days, 8 times 7. When a dog gives birth, it's 63 days, 9 times 7. When a lion gives birth, it takes 98 days, 14 times 7. When a sheep is going to give birth, it takes 147 days, 21 times 7. Okay? When a man is going to give birth to another man, or a woman is going to give birth to a human, it says it takes 280 days. 40 times 7. So the children of Israel were in the wilderness for 40 years. Why? To test them to see whether or not they love me or do they hate me. And so man is on a test. Most of us are failing the test. Look at the world around you, and most everyone's failing the test. They have chosen, they know good from evil. Because God said, when they ate of the fruit, it says, now you have the knowledge of good and evil. Everyone who lives on this earth knows when they're doing right and when they're doing wrong from birth. And so therefore, God is testing us to see whether you love him or you hate him. Why? Because he has glory on the other side. Okay, now, so God begins to speak, okay? And he says, let there be light. And he created Thessalina so that he can speak through this light and create a physical world. So he said, let there be earth. And we have earth, okay? I'll do little maps there. And you have earth. Then he says, let there be a sun. He speaks it through here, through Vexelina, and it comes out the sun. Okay? On this side, physical. Then he says, let there be a moon. And the moon appears. Okay? Then he says something, let there also be stars. Now, when he says, let there be stars, he creates in the sky 48 constellations that tell you about his redemptive plan for man. He doesn't just put the stars in the sky. He puts the stars in the sky to tell you about what he's going to do with his son, Jesus Christ. And so when we look in the skies, or when people come to us and say, girl, what sign are you? You say, oh, you know, I'm a Pisces. Oh, you know, I'm a Cancer. And all that is demonic that comes from Babylon. But the stars Virgo there. But the Virgo is representing the mother who's going to give birth to the child, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
There is a Aries there, but that lamb represents the Christ who's going to die on the cross. So all of this stuff, now isn't it strange that during the time that we call the Aries sign, happens to be in the spring, the same time Jesus Christ dies, who is the true lamb. So the astrology is telling you the plan of God. So he puts 48 constellations of stars in the sky. He calls them Kakav. Which in the Hebrew interpretation is 20, 6, 20, and 2. Which equals what? 48. So even the word star in Hebrew has the gematria of 48. Because in these 48 stars, I'm going to give you my plan of redemption. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do. So now we have the stars being created, and we have earth, but we don't have man yet. Okay? Now on the 6th day, God creates man. Speaks through Vitalina, through the female light orb, and out comes man. Okay? I'm not a great artist, you guys, as you can see. So now out comes man. So now, man comes out, and what does God want to do with man? He's got to test him. To see what? Whether or not he loves him, or rather he hates him. And I love the interpretation that Enoch gives. It doesn't say whether he will be obedient or unobedient. God says, no, this is serious. He either loves me or he hates me. And you'll be able to tell whether he's obedient or not. So God just drawing the line here. So, here we are with man. You and us, right? Now, we're here. And of course we have the female. She's cute. She got long hair. She's really cute, right? So you got male and female. Satan sees the woman being, the man and the woman being created, and he realized, oh, the light wasn't to kill me. But he sees earth being created. And he sees all of this beautiful stuff that God has created. And then God makes a proclamation. Everything now belongs to man. You're the ruler. So Satan thinks to himself, how did I lose everything I had? By sinning. So if I can bring sin into this situation, maybe I can take control of this, and then I don't have to just roam in darkness.
Right. Wow.
So Satan attacks the woman and causes her to sin. The sin causes a transformation of the deed of this planet to be given over to Satan. And now Satan is the ruler over earth. Now, Satan doesn't understand that many years ago, before this happened, there was Tapsarim, who were already writing, who were writing scribes in heaven. And you know what they're writing? God's redemptive plan. They're writing this book. And in this book is the same as in the stars. God's redemptive plan for man. Okay? So God says, I'm going to step into my own creation in his book. And it says, see, because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was, but then it says, and the Word was made flesh and tabernacled amongst us. So now, Jesus Christ steps into this world.